A study of University of Cambridge found that the money habits in children are formed by the time they are 7 years old. Like, see, just a tender age that where they start thinking of money and talking of money. So now how parents or guardians should help them build this habit, that's a critical point to think about, like how they should save and put the money together for their future use. And also, as parent, it is very important to plan and undertake savings with a target of utilizing the amount for your kid. And to discuss all of this, we have a very special guest with us today, Prableen Bajpai. With her, we will chat and touch upon all of these topics. Hello and good evening, Prableen. It's pleasure speaking with you.
Hi, Shrishti. Good evening. Pleasure to be on the show.
So, Prableen, starting with the first topic, like we were telling our viewers as well, how smarter children have got. So, as per you, what the study says, how early can you start teaching your children about money, and how parents can actually discuss money topics or money talks with their child?
Absolutely, Shrishti. This University of Cambridge study actually says that the habits related to money are almost formed by the age of 7. And I think it's a very important yet difficult thing to do. How do you inculcate these habits? Because as parents, I think what we look to do is to provide the best to our children. We want them to be happy all the time. We want all their needs and wants are actually met. But at the same time, we want that they value money. They do not take things for granted, especially coming from a generation. I think you and me, though I would be elder to you, but we've, I think, still seen times of scarcity in terms of choice, in terms of limited resources. And I think today is a world of abundance where there is so much more choice. There are so many more methods and mechanisms to make payment. Ways to take credit, debt, that's increased. So I think early on, as parents, what is very important is, because you can't actually start having a very direct conversation at a very tender age, but I think children actually learn so much by observation. And that is something any parent has to be very, very mindful of. How a couple is discussing money matters between them. Do they fight over money? Do they say that it's less? Is it? Do they take it for granted that does the child see that his parents are going shopping every day, or money food is being ordered from outside? These small little things can also actually frame the behavior of the child towards money, because they learn a lot by observation. So I think the most important thing is to actually make that approach that you want for the child, how he or she sees money is so important that we are mindful about our own behavior. And this, I think, a very important aspect here, Shrishti, for young kids is that, we often take them to the malls, and something that we tend to do is buy them something each time that they see. Let's say we take them to a mall and he or she sees a toy at Hamleys or a new dress. We tend to buy that for the child, because as a parent, you love your children. But I think delaying gratification is the first step which parents should start to do.
Okay, so probably point very well taken. Like as per the study also says, 7 years is a very tender age to start with, and definitely there the child can actually think on the money lines just by the observation. But now talking of teenagers, what is your opinion that for like slightly older children, how do you inculcate good money habits, and how should parents take steps to get these habits into the daily lives of such children, so that they are more aware and they are more into that zone of thinking about the future and saving money for that?
Absolutely. So, Shrishti, like I said, that, delayed gratification has a very important part to play. And there is actually another study by the Stanford University which says that children who can actually delay gratification turn out to be more successful in their careers. And the study actually goes on to say that their scores, stat scores, are better, their stress levels are lower, and substance use is lesser found in these kids. They have a better response to difficult situations. So like I said, the first step has to be delayed gratification, and that is across all ages. As a teenage or as the child is growing, I think also what is important is to try and make them understand the concept of opportunity cost. So let's say I take my son to the mall and he wants a new iPad or a new pair of shoe. You have to get into a dialogue with the child that if you're getting this is what you kind of give up. So you're not getting the new coat that you wanted or the new jacket you wanted. So something that sort of dynamics has to come into play. The parent has to make the child realize that if he or she is getting something, that has to be in lieu of something that the child is giving up. Secondly, delayed gratification means that whenever the child is demanding something, you give those 3 to 4 days to the child to think. You tell them to analyze, okay, how much is it costing, let's plan towards it. And you start building a small, of course the piggy bank starts at a very early age, but for slightly elder children, I think it has to be more of planning. That what is your pocket money, how are you going to budget it, okay, how much will you contribute towards a certain purchase, especially a bigger purchase. That's very important. Thirdly, Shrishti, as the kids grow, I think turning the piggy bank concept or a clear jar concept, wherein the child can actually see the money go into the bank, that becomes very important. So that the child is learning basic banking operations at an early age. He or she is able to understand the concept of how much fixed deposit or how much a recurring deposit is going to give, on a bank deposit, and the concept of simple and compound interest. These are part of our actually academic syllabus as well. So if the child, if the parents indulge a bit there, they can actually hammer this concept very well to the child, how these two concepts work. And I think two more very important things is sticking to the list. So whenever you yourself are going out, ensure that you're sticking to your buying list, whatever is there on the shopping list, and you don't go haywire, because I think even as adults, we tend to do that. So you somewhere have to lead by example. And I think two more very important things here are use of credit card as the child is growing, because we tend to use a lot of plastic money. You have to make the child aware that this is dangerous if used beyond a point, and you can get into a debt trap. So your own personal habits have to be very, I would say, clean in that sense. And lastly, money beyond just numbers, because Shrishti, the concept of giving is very important, and the concept of being contented with what a child has is also very important, especially in an age where we are living with social media, Instagram posts and Twitter posts, and there is so much of visual stuff that the child is getting to see. So I feel these two concepts beyond just numbers and basic money concepts are very important.
Okay, Prableen, like you mentioned that one kid should be also aware that how they are going to spend their money. And many, like in every other house, I see that there comes a point and an age of child where the topic comes for the pocket money, whether or not the child is going to get the pocket money, or whether or not what amount has to be fixed for that pocket money, so that the child is also able to manage its expenses and can actually have the knowledge that where to spend and where to not. What's your take on that, and how do you manage that situation at your home?
Shrishti, I think the concept of pocket money is very nice, and you can actually, the concept of budgeting that I mentioned earlier. So pocket money is actually where you can help the child to learn the concept of budgeting. And also you sometimes need to reward the child. So you say that let's fix a budget for you. This is the amount. If we just follow the basic 50, 30, 20 rule also, that 50, you can just spend on whatever you need. 30 rupees out of the 100 you keep for your wants, and 20 rupees is actually what you save. So this basic concept can also help the child break up the money he or she is getting. And here the reward system is important. If the child is helping you in some household chores, it's nice to reward the child and add something to his or her kitty. And if the child is able to save a decent amount, you can always give them an incentive that, I will double up whatever you save at the end of the month. So the idea is to ensure that the child is able to plan his small or her small spendings within the pocket money, let's say a weekend movie out, or buying a new book. Even if you are paying through your card, you should take that amount of money from the child, so that he or she feels that, okay, he's the one or she's the one who's actually buying it. So I think overall, the idea is to bring in discipline and tell the child that the money is limited as a resource, and some amount of discipline is required overall, to use it prudently.
Okay, I think, Prableen, that 50, 30, and 20 rule might even make that investing the whole game of that very interesting. But with that, Prableen, thank you very much for joining us on the conversation. It's time for a break.